was founded in 1981, so been around 39 odd years, and the leader in connecting people through computers, and essentially we designed the first mouse. From there we went out to keyboards a little bit later, and it's been designed around the PC. So our DNA is all to do with mobility, getting people to interact in various manners and means, and we'll go into detail a little bit later on that. And we're a unique company. We're big enough to be global, but small enough to be quick, innovative, bring new products to market, especially in times of crisis. And as we've seen over the past 6-7 months, our products have become very, very relevant with the work from home, the educational sector, health sector, in these times. Again, a great small company, as I say. We listed on 3 strong identities listed on the stock exchange in Switzerland and in the US, and we have our manufacturing capabilities in China. We really do just under 3 billion euros of sales on an annual basis, and have really grown the business to be a global business and present in virtually every single market across the world. We're a PC platform growth story. So as I said earlier, when the PC was first invented, we started off with mice, then keyboards, then PC speakers, webcams. So everything really around a PC to make your customer experience whilst using a PC far more interactive, better than just sitting and punching a keyboard and using your PC in that way. But we had to evolve. From about 2012, 2013 onwards, the PC market was stagnant. There was no real innovative things happening. And so we evolved. We went into gaming, some smart home technology, music, video conferencing, and then again into that was really the start of cloud. So cloud applications. How do we become relevant in the new technology? How do we stay relevant? How do we keep growing as a company? And how do we keep growing our products and our market, not domination, but market segments and market growth. So we branched out, as I said, into these gaming, computing, lots of different products. Again, from an R&D perspective, this is what we're renowned for. In a slide or two, I'll show you there have been heaps of design awards. And we control our own manufacturing in China. People always ask us why. It's just to have complete control of the entire process, from design, manufacture, quality control, the complete aspect of taking products to people that are renowned for their quality, long lasting, and last for years. Again, we're this global network. We have a few select partners, and these are probably growing a little bit more when we talk about our partnerships with the likes of Apple, Amazon, etc. We've also had partnerships of late in the video conferencing arena with Zoom, Microsoft, Google Hangouts, etc. So, the world is changing, our partners change, and that's really one of the things about Logitech. We're adaptable, so we change and fit. We change and fit as the market changes and the market needs and consumer needs change. We're very adaptable and very flexible to do that. Design as a culture, as I was talking earlier, virtually every one of our products in some manner or means has won design awards over the last, countless years. Again, not being blasé, we really do bring quality products to market. And that doesn't mean that they're quality as in based in very expensive. It means quality across the board. So even our cheaper products are designed and manufactured with the same intent that it's a quality product. Just because it costs a few dollars less doesn't mean to say it's of inferior quality or manufacture. And this is one of the things that our company is very proud of. Again, innovative awards. We're innovative in our design, in certain mice, etc., that they're designed in such a way that your wrist doesn't get affected, or you don't get sore while you're working the whole day on a mouse. And again, this award, we came in at number 9. There are quite a few other companies in here that you'd expect to win design awards, innovation awards. You wouldn't expect a manufacturer of supposedly boring at least, PC accessories to feature in anything innovative. But we win these awards countless times. And again, just breaking down the field of products, just to give an overview, it's vast. We're renowned for, starting off in our creativity and productivity, our mice, keyboards, headsets. We branched out into music, acquired Blue a few years ago, the microphones. Video collaboration was obviously a very, very strong topic and product at this time of the year, this time of the pandemic, etc. Our gaming products are renowned all over the world. Esports is becoming massive, especially with these times. People are spending a lot of time at home, so gaming is really a product sector that's working well for us. And some of our smart remotes and our circle cameras for the home environment. So they're just a basic rundown of what we do, some background to us as a company, our strengths, where we are relevant. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Sagen, so he can just take you through the pack of the collaborative healthcare products. Over to you, Six.
Thank you very much, Morgan. Laura, thank you very much for the introduction and the opportunity to speak to the audience. To everyone that's attended today, thank you very much for making the time. It is much appreciated, and I'm sure that everybody is by now and at this part of the year all webinared out. So we're going to try not to make this as a typical deck by PowerPoint. So just a quick show of mine. I am Sagen Ganesan. I head up the video collaboration and enterprise business for Logitech in the West, East, and Central Africa region. Morgan and I make up the team across 28 different countries, and we are slowly but surely building out the business. So that's a little bit about me. My background is I come out of the engineering environment. I am a technologist by heart, so anything that involves technology, a connection, or something clever, I'm interested. So I think, without further ado, let's get into the deck. And one of the reasons why we decided that healthcare is such a great topic. Healthcare in itself is a business, right? It's a global business. It's a multi-trillion-dollar business, and which is one of the reasons why we find ourselves in a situation over the last 7 to 8 months where the world has literally changed. We once knew the freedom of movement, but today we find ourselves stuck behind our desks at home and working from anywhere else but the office. We shop online, we do everything that we do it from a safe haven of our homes. And with that in mind, the healthcare industry has seen its fair share of challenges and trends that have changed and bucked over these last few months with the pandemic that we've faced. Some of the key areas that I'd like to cover today as challenges would be, firstly, the policy and regulatory changes, that any healthcare organization needs to take care of. Being able to get information out there, change it timeously becomes a huge challenge. We also have the situation where the baby boomers in 10 years' time would actually be 65 years and older. So I think, with that in mind, 1 in 5 people would actually be in retirement. That in itself poses a huge strain on the healthcare system. And if you look at this particular slide, we also see a global trend of declining healthcare professionals in the form of physicians. The Association of American Colleges have actually put together a little study that shows by the year 2032, we would be 120, or the US rather, would be 120,000 physicians short of where they needed to be, which is why we need to embrace technological advancements. We can't get around like we once used to. The population is a lot larger than it once was, and it's growing. That's not going to go away. You see that us as consumers have already embraced technology. I think the smartphone has taken the world by storm. We do everything from our phones, almost everything. Just short of cooking a meal, but we can order one. So, and a vehicle for that matter. So technological advancements in the healthcare industry have also posed significant challenges in the form of increased costs. So with new trends, new technology comes a higher price tag because it's new, it's relevant to today's times. But at the same time, we have the consumer that has a much higher expectation because this little smart device has shown him that, listen, I have the power of communication in one device. So I can literally do anything and everything, which also means that businesses and the healthcare system needs to do things very different. And they need to embrace this new way of thinking, the new way the consumer has actually embraced the world. So a lot of things that we have done has evolved into something new, trendy. And you'll find the same with Logitech. We once were that mouse company. Back in 1981, 1982, when we developed the first cable to mouse with a green PS2 connection that went into the back of your desktop at home, which was large and bulky. We've evolved into something totally different. We basically were and still are a peripheral company, and we'll touch more on that. But with the times comes evolution, and with a wise man once said, the only constant in life is change, and which is what we've done. Every single year, year on year, we spend millions of dollars on research and development to embrace the new ways that the world is thinking. Chronic diseases are something also that pose a huge challenge to most nations out there, if not all nations. Chronic diseases on the rise: heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and the likes. And with the onset of global pandemics, that is now a new factor that most healthcare systems have to provide for, which creates more undue stress on currently strained budgets as well as healthcare systems and being able to provide a service. So what are the benefits? I mean, telehealth is by no means new. Telehealth has been around for decades. But at the same time, when it first started, it was significantly more expensive. It was prohibitive for most general healthcare practices to actually embrace technology to bring in telehealth. Today, that's changed. Today, with the advancements in technology and the frequency at which things are bought, the economies of scale have driven the prices down, which means patients can actually access technology as well as service providers. They can access a lot more technology as well. So broadband has made the access of platforms a lot more significant. Patients now have the access and the access to technology via online connection. So 8 out of 10 people have an internet connection, a reliable internet connection, whether it's via mobile broadband or via fixed internet through fiber or ADSL. Excuse me. Connectivity is no different for anybody else. It is available. And I think in Africa, Africa is experiencing 80% more connectivity than South Africa ever would. We may be more advanced in some areas, but I think in terms of coverage, Africa is by far way ahead of South Africa. So let's look at a patient. What does telehealth mean for a patient? It means they can sit in the comfort of their own homes. So we bring in convenience to the conversation now. Sit in the comfort of your own home, access an online portal or platform through a private healthcare facility that offers this kind of service. So you don't have to spend hours in traffic. You don't have to take your sick body out of the comfort and safety of your home and drag yourself to a surgery or a hospital somewhere just to get some sort of treatment. And you also experience less stress because you now can access services from the comfort of your own home. What does this mean for providers? Healthcare providers, they're able to safely access a platform and provide a service. They can drive up the economies of scale. They can reach a lot more people in areas previously that they couldn't reach, or that don't have access to fixed medical brick and mortar type buildings or facilities like Laura mentioned. These are the things that will help expand the reach of most healthcare providers out there. And I think ultimately reduce the cost of treatment that is able to reach the masses. So some of the key applications in the telehealthcare space is, let's refer to it as telehealthcare, but I mean, we can talk about video conferencing. Video conferencing means different things to different people, but for the purposes of what we're talking about today, let's look at telehealth. Some of the key applications, firstly, obviously patient care. Service providers can get to patients safely, conveniently, and quickly. So time is of the essence. Time is money at the end of the day. Instead of having patients waiting in a waiting room, you can now reduce the size of your practices by offering online services and ultimately driving your scale of costs down. Administration has always been a huge function in any healthcare environment, and being able to safely and securely communicate internally through your various administrative sectors means that you can reach a lot more people a lot faster and a lot more timeously. But one of the other key areas that has always been a challenge is education and training. Imparting of knowledge. Daily we have new strains. Let's take COVID-19 as an example. And let's take the simple flu as an example. Let's not even go so far as a pandemic. Let's take a simple flu. There's always been a new evolution, Evolution seems to be the key for today's talk. And I think the idea of this is change is constant, right? Even the flu, a simple virus, is actually changing on a regular basis. Every single year, there's a new flu vaccine that's available. And because obviously there's a requirement for it. So like with that, you need to impart the knowledge, share this information to healthcare providers in areas that are not so frequently or easy to reach. Using telehealth and video conferencing, you are now able to impart and train these healthcare providers to keep them safe and always informed. Research and development, that is a constant, and there's always going to be a need for imparting of knowledge and sharing of new developments, conducting of research, and making sure that World Health Organizations are always kept abreast of what's going on. Patient care applications, and these can be broken down into 8. It's not limited to these, but obviously we'll pick on, we'll touch on the 8 categories. Prevention and wellness in pregnancy, in general well-being of individuals. Primary and urgent care at the click of a button. Someone can access, if you experience shortness of breath, tightness in the chest, at the click of a button. Most primary and private healthcare systems have the ability to have someone on standby. In South Africa, we have a company called Discovery Health, and I think they're global now, actually. I speak out of turn. But with Discovery Health, you have access to private healthcare. So you can actually then, at the click of a button, access a health professional on the other side, get the relevant advice, have a short-term fix to take care of the symptoms, while if you need to be admitted into hospital, provisions can be made. Behavioral health, people suffering from mental health issues can actually access a health provider on the other side, at the click of a button, from the safety of their home. They don't have to leave to get any kind of advice or treatment, or just talk to somebody. Sometimes you just need to be able to talk to somebody. And I think every one of us right now experiencing this kind of stress in our lives, where we need our mental health and well-being is actually taking quite a knock. We used to being out and about and walking the streets and seeing people. The lack of human interaction is actually playing its part and taking its strain on most of us. Triage and assessment centers, specialty consults. You can walk into a center that has the equipment, but the healthcare professional could be offsite somewhere. They could just video conference in, and away you go. So no time is lost. Disease management. In typical days, this pandemic has posed a huge challenge for the safety and well-being of our healthcare providers out there. They've big ups to them. They've actually risked their lives on a daily basis. They've put their families at risk. They've basically given a lot to make sure that any individual out there that is struggling with COVID-19 or any other disease is taken care of. And then we look at, an area that I touched on earlier, long-term care and aging, our aging demographic, being able to safely access, the relevant healthcare. Improving the preparedness and response, and I think this is actually something that speaks for itself. Facilitate, communications, educate and train our professionals and then prevent. So just being able to interact with a healthcare professional online means that an individual that is, stressed about something that they might be feeling can get the necessary advice to take the right steps, and not say, let me take a Panado, let me take some paracetamol and I'll be fine tomorrow. Let me see how I feel. Get the necessary help, get the right advice, take care of yourself. Triage, remote experts, mental health services, all of these, are now becoming something of a huge requirement. And again, it comes back to embracing technology. So what does Logitech have to say about all of this? Like I said earlier, we've actually been in the industry of making peripherals, making life easy for people that use technology. So we make things that complement a core function. What does that actually mean? Our devices are built around trust, so you can trust that it's always going to work. You can trust the brand that's always going to do the right thing, and you can trust that you'll never be left alone if you are in need from a support perspective. We are able to connect and deliver seamless integration and streamline workflows and adoption. So this driving adoption means that you have somebody sitting in their home and they have a particular laptop. How do they connect? So those are the kind of things that we have the seamless integration. It doesn't matter what platform you use. It just means that whatever you're using, we are able to seamlessly integrate and hand over to another piece of technology. So our technology is based on agnostic approaches to any kind of hardware or software and cloud platform right now. We are able to then offer you personalized and structured and innovative experiences that are unique to you and your organization or as an individual. We extend, increase access to care at any time, anywhere, with improved outcomes. And I think this speaks specifically to the healthcare environment, and reliability in a typical business environment. And I think with the last thing in mind, Logitech has always considered the consumer as well as the business owner, the enterprise customer, and their budgets. Nobody wants to be out of pocket because they need to begrudgingly spend money on technology. We need technology. Technology in most cases becomes, for a lot of businesses, a grudge purchase. So how do we do this? Logitech has actually been cognizant of this from day one. We've always tried to make the best product with the best quality, with the best support, with the best bang for buck. So ease of access and scalability becomes a thing of reality for any industry, and in this case, the healthcare services provider. So Morgan touched on this earlier, where it is very relevant to us in terms of working with other vendors, other hardware providers, and other ecosystem providers. We will be able to seamlessly hand over between Microsoft, Zoom, or Google. It doesn't really matter. For us, it's all about making sure that we can function with any kind of technology that you have chosen as a strategy for your business. And you can see some very big names in here. They're hardware names, there's software, there's cloud providers, as well as complementary audio visual service providers. So the seamless integration, this is just an example of what can happen. You have a user sitting at home. You have multiple platforms, Microsoft, Zoom, Google, as a simple voice call, Google Meet as a video and collaboration platform, GoToMeeting, BlueJeans, it doesn't really matter. That particular home user is now going to contact somebody at a hospital, or they're going to contact a physician's hospital, remote medical specialist. Any one of these individuals or business units is able to seamlessly connect to each other. We empower personalized experiences. What does this mean? A simple home user is now able to get access to great peripheral technology, and not always is it viable to use integrated webcams. If your lighting's great, go ahead. If not, we have technology that's built into our webcams and our headsets. Like the headset I'm using right now has active noise cancelling, very comfortable, ergonomically designed cushioning for our ears. So it's designed for long uses, and it is designed to work every single time you need to use it. Our cameras, our lens technology it comes out of the photographic industry. We use the highest grade of 4K lenses, as well as noise cancellation and software applications in our camera technology that always optimizes the light and throughput. Some of the examples of bundles that we can create, starting from the entry-level webcam and headset, all the way up to a high-end Logitech Brio and Logitech Zone wireless for the ultimate experience. We also, in this case, have then taken that webcam technology, and this is what Logitech does. It's part of the evolution, right? We're here today, but where are we going? So back in 1998, we developed the webcam, the first black and white webcam, when the very first video conferencing application was available. And today we have taken that same concept of a webcam and have included, multiple layers of great lenses, great microphones, great speaker enclosures, as well as shielding to make sure that the experience of the end user or the application requirements is always optimized at any point in time. We go from our plug-and-play Logitech Meetup, which is a high-end plug-and-play device that is suitable for both portable as well as small to medium boardroom sizes. And you'll see as we go through the list, we have Conference Cam Connect, which is a battery-powered mobile device, which I have right here. It's like a flask, right? And it has an integrated camera. The lens cover actually turns into a remote. So, this is battery-powered. You take this on the road with you to various conferences. If you're offering remote and field type services in the healthcare industry, also ideally suited. PCC 950, another small to medium type application. So I'm not going to go through the stats of everything, but we're just going to look at the applications. Extend access anytime, anywhere, and this again is an example of what Logitech is able to do. This little consultation room has then turned into a flexible solution for any care type of setting. So this could be a high-end optometry lab, this could be a blood test, a blood bank type facility that's on the road, or anything of that sort, offering a service. Another unique application, and I think it's not really unique, it's been done before, but we've just taken it one step further because, to offer remote type services, you need great audio and especially video. So these cameras are kitted out with 4K resolution technology that helps a caregiver or a service provider to remotely zoom into the patient, have a look at their charts, have a look at the equipment around them, to look at the stats. And if you, as you can see from the example in the middle, that picture shows that, apart from seeing it on the screen, the mobile unit is then able to be taken into a ward, taken into a patient's room, and a nurse can basically connect to a doctor that needs to do its rounds. So virtual rounds, gone are the days where you need to wait for a doctor to come through. You can do this on the fly. We have the top end of our products, which is the Rally camera. You can mount cameras on ceilings, walls, standalone, and this is how our high-end device that again offers studio quality video with multi-point systems, and it has again our Right Sense technology built into it, which Right Sense is made up of right light, right sight, right sound. So always get the best audio experience, both mic and sound pickup. Always get the best lighting experience that optimizes through the lens exposure aperture built into the camera itself, and the right sight. What it does is it automatically crops and it understands where the individuals are within the room. So instead of having a zoomed out camera, it'll sense where the individuals are seated around the table or the training center and zoom in and automatically crop and automatically frame the subjects within that picture. Flexible integration, and I think this again speaks for itself. Telemedicine for education deployment, meaning that you can offer training out in remote areas. All you need is an internet connection and the right equipment, and the right facility can be taken advantage of. Patient assessment terminals, like we've seen before. And I think simplify, optimize budgets, reduce costs. This is something that has always been the fundamental basis of what Logitech does. We would like to engage with you at a level that you may see something here today, but you may not see an application that suits your business. But I encourage you to please reach out to us. to talk about your specific need, your specific applications. We're actually talking to judiciary systems or IT personnel in judiciary and law departments, where we're installing and looking at applying video conferencing units to courtrooms. And I think that's a very interesting one, where witnesses don't need to be in the country. They can be anywhere else outside of the country. They just need to log into this meeting room. Here's some of the examples of meeting room sizes and the different applications and the type of devices that will go into these rooms. We have the meetup with a tap, and our tap is it's a little tablet device that controls your session. It's the new control facility, and I think it is taking the world by storm. There's a lot more out there, and we'd love to talk to you about whatever your specific applications are. Just to touch on some of the other peripherals, Morgan has already done this, but complementary to our video conferencing and collaboration suites, we have a lot of iPad solutions, keyboards and mice, presentation tools. We have a whole array of products in our various verticals. And at some point, we'd like to put together a solution for you. And I think from my side, that's it. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope I haven't bored you at the same time. So I look forward to engaging